Ooh, welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Well, I'm back. That didn't take too long. I'm back, and I'm gonna tell you why. My wife called me a sissy, a punk. Why are you doing this? And she was reading off some of you guys' comments, and she was like, you can't stop making videos. You can't stop making videos. Some of these guys are saying some heartfelt things, and I won't put nobody out there, but you know, she was like, you can't stop making videos. You got to stay out there. You can't let LeBron James push you out of making videos. And I kind of gave it a thought. I was like, I didn't want to come back, but you know, she kind of forced me to come back and make videos. You know, and some of the things you guys were saying was so great. So yeah, I guess I'm back for right now. I mean, it's really weird. You know, I don't like to, do that thing that LeBron James is saying, act like he's gonna retire, don't retire, and stuff like that. And trust me, I didn't want to keep making videos. I just feel exhausted with this dude. And you know, a lot of people might think you make a lot of videos on LeBron James. You make a lot of videos on LeBron James. Well, I do, but that's all they talk about is this guy. A failure, a loser, a meltdown artist, a choke artist, a cheater, a quitter. In his 23rd season, like this guy I told you guys before, it's almost like this guy just started, or maybe he's in his 5th season, 10th season, 12th season. They act like this guy is really chasing something. They act like this guy is literally chasing greatness, or, you know what I'm saying? Just like, it's ridiculous. This guy ain't chasing nothing. He's chasing all the damn fans. Well, I won't say he is. He already has chased all the damn fans away. But, you know, this what it, and I told you why it's like that, because this is all the NBA has before it crumbles. Well, it's already crumbled. It's hard to say these things because it already is. Before it just fully crumbles apart. That's all the NBA has. So they just use this guy, they keep using this guy. What I want to say is already happening. Or already has happened. It's just crazy that, it's past tense, and it's dealing with now in the future with this damn guy. The things he's done and continues to do. Let's just say that he has done and continues to do. But again, when I say they, I mean the Players Association and the owners. Remember, I'm the only one that is man enough. I'm not taking shots at nobody really, but I'm just saying. I keep hearing everybody, they will not blame the people. How do you keep blaming the workers? I don't understand. How do you keep blaming the workers of the company for the company going down? I don't understand that. And the company ain't doing good. You don't just keep blaming the workers. If the owners and the management says this is how you're supposed to work, these are our rules for the employees, so you're gonna keep blaming the workers? You keep blaming the workers for low managing. You keep blaming the workers for, no defense in the league. You keep blaming the workers, because the workers saying dumb stuff. You keep blaming the workers for everything. That's a cop-out, man. That's protecting the owners. That's protecting the management. And that's why this stuff continues to happen, because people more want to make money off the shenanigans. They don't want the shenanigans to go away. They don't want defense to come back. They don't want Bronny James out of the league. They don't want, LeBron James to retire. They don't want none of these shenanigans. They don't want low management to end. They don't want none of these shenanigans to end with what's going on in the NBA, because they keep blaming Zion, Kawhi, LeBron James. They keep blaming the people who are told, who are written a script to do these things. That's what these YouTubers keep doing, because they want to be patted on the back by YouTube. That's it. I mean, it's that simple, guys. And you gotta understand why my channel is shadow banned to death. It's shadow banned to death. You never seen nothing like it. I got subs telling me that YouTube unsubscribed them. They already know. Don't say nothing about YouTube in your video, because they're already gonna get dinged. They won't be able to make the money. So don't say, even if you got a problem with what's going on, don't really say YouTube's name, because YouTube is gonna ding you. YouTube, the AI. Remember, everything you say in your video is criticized by AI. Remember, you're not being You're not being graded by a real person. You're not being graded by a human being. Remember that. This is what's so crazy about this world. We're being ran by bots, robots, guys. We're not even being ran by human beings. So if you say something about YouTube, or you say something, off script about what's going on in the NBA, like I've been saying, they're gonna ding you. They're gonna ding you. You never heard nobody came out and said that the ESPN, that over there ESPN and Fox and all that stuff, the beef was fake with Max Kellerman and who is this? Max Kellerman, and then the beef between Skip and Shannon Sharp was fake. You never heard that, because them dudes will get in trouble. They have to go along with the script. They have to go along with the script. Yep, they have to go. What about me saying these NBA players don't make? Who's saying this? Nobody's saying this. And they know, most of these YouTubers know that these players ain't making this kind of money. Now, probably if they had to debate this against me, they'll probably say, where's your proof? You don't have no proof. All this. So, okay, I have no proof where I see their paychecks or nothing like that. But I'm talking about the way these guys move. I'm talking about when you put two and two together, the way they move after they retire. Hell, most of them, like right now, most of them right now, they got a podcast and YouTube just to make money. You think LeBron James, if he was worth $1 billion, would be doing the stuff that he would be doing? You think he would still be running the court? No, folks, they just give this guy a value. How this guy got $1 billion for being one of the biggest losers in NBA history, one of the most hated player, or the most hated superstar of all time? Can't sell his own damn shoes, can't sell no merch, and he has $1 billion for what, folks? And it just shows you, why would you give these guys who can't even sell the league based on the viewership, and your viewership is crumbling, well, already crumbled. Your viewership is gone. Your ratings are the worst every single season. The least watched NBA in the 2020s. And you're trying to tell me you're rewarding these guys with even bigger contracts? Get the hell out. You can't tell me nothing, man. It's all, like I said, it's all a value. And like I said, when these guys retire, they'll be shaking and baking, fighting for a job on ESPN or some kind of sports network, calling the game, or trying to coach, trying to do something, because they never made that kind of money. Now, am I trying to say they didn't make millions? No, I'm not trying to say that. Yes, they made millions, but you got to realize the players are the product. So just because they give you a value on a product, that don't mean they're getting paid that much. Okay? Just because you buy something at the store, that don't mean it costs that much. The whatever is at the store is a product. Is a product. But that don't mean it costs that much. That don't mean that the company paid that much for the product. So to me, when I can put two and two together, I don't know what you guys are getting. Some people, they get 6 because that's what they want you to think. But the players are the product. So they're just, why do you think they even give you these guys how much they make on their contract? Why do you think? Why do you think? Why do you think? If you see some of the way these NBA players live, you'll be shocked. Especially the ones in the past that, supposed to also make tens of millions of dollars. I'm not trying to say they're poor, but there's no way these guys are making this kind of money. Go ask Kwame. That guy got to get up and farm. That guy got to get up and cut his and do all kind of stuff. That dude ain't got no money like that. And that guy's supposed to make, go see how much money Kwame made. Come on, man. I ain't trying to say these guys are poor, nothing like that. Or maybe they do got millions, but they don't have no money like that, man. It's all bullshit. Imagine if one of these guys came out and said this. They can't say nothing like that. Man, the news come up missing. They couldn't say nothing like this, because that would be a racket. Sports will fall apart, man. It would be a racket. And imagine this league right here, the more it goes down the drain, the more money they're giving the players. That's crazy. Just imagine how insane that sounds. The more the league goes down the drain, the more they get the players. Even MLB knew what they had to do, because baseball was going down. Baseball was going down, and they had no choice but to go get these Caribbean players and pay them nothing in the Caribbean League before they came up. And to me, it's the same thing what they're doing in the NBA. While they're going to get these international players, I think the EuroLeague is just a farm team for the NBA. That's all it is. And they knew what they were doing with this one and done stuff. Destroy the college, destroy college, so these guys have no kind of skills coming into the NBA, or they're not good players. And then we can get these international players and act like they got more skills, because the international players, they've been playing since they was like 14 years old. They've been playing in a professional league over there. So to me, like I said, I think the NBA is just a big racket that, you're never going to know about unless you use your mind. But ain't no damn way the NBA is just going down the drain as far as viewership. And then they're giving these guys all this money. How are these guys demanding all this money and can't even play? Don't even like, bro, go look at we got people got channels of like past 90s. That thing was a grind. These dudes was out here killing each other just to play. They wouldn't even let each other score. It was crazy. They wouldn't even let each other score. I mean, like, it was crazy. I sometimes when I watch these games, like, these guys look like big ass football players or something. These guys are huge, and it's crazy because they're supposed to be tall and skinny, but the dudes back then was just huge, and they was just grinding back then. It was cold. Calling carries, you couldn't even get away with a damn carry and travel in the 90s. It seemed like, I'm like, damn, that was a carry and travel. You couldn't even believe it back then. So, the refs were doing their job, and the coaches were doing their job. The players were definitely doing their job. And, it is what it is, folks. I'm on my way to work right now, but, we got to deal with a couple things here. Now that I done came back, and we're going to make these videos. And like I said, let me say this real quick. I think LeBron James is going to retire. I think he's going to retire. Something is weird about the whole thing. Because check this out. He can barely get up and down the court last year. He was awful. He couldn't play, zero defense almost. And he supposedly got like a sciatica nerve or whatever like that. The injuries are building up. Whether they're fake or not, and they're probably fake, right? But we all know it's a smoke screen for whatever, right? It's just a soap opera drama that he has to provide the NBA, because the NBA has provided him with a fake legacy, right? Even though, he's a big failure, a loser, a choker, a meltdown artist, was never that dude. He's maybe a number two, parading around as a number one, right? And he just looks like a number one on good to great teams, right? Taking all the credit, but you got to think about it. The guy didn't do any preseason, and you got to remember, guys back in the day, they in preseason, they did something before preseason, right? It's almost like the NFL. They got before preseason, they got something that comes up. I forget the name of it. But they go out and practice without pads, running, catching the ball, everything for the linemen, whatever. I forget I think it's mini camp, right? So, NBA players have something like that. And if not, they get together with each other, whatever like that, and they play. They get ready before preseason comes and stuff like that. LeBron James has done nothing of that. He ain't went to, what you would call, mini camp. He ain't doing preseason. And then he's going to miss time in the coming up. My fault, guys. Anyways, like I was saying, and he's not going to be able to play. He probably can. Matter of fact, he probably can. Let's just say he ain't playing the first 3 to 4 weeks. So, how do you come back and play? I don't understand. So you ain't even played in what is, so-called mini camp. You ain't playing in the preseason. You ain't playing 3 to 4 weeks, and it could be longer. How does that make any sense? How would you come back and be worth a damn? I don't understand. How would you come back and be NBA ready? Not only, let's just say if you didn't even play, period, and nothing was wrong with you. Nothing was wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? To make you, miss time, which is crazy. Nobody would miss time if nothing was wrong with them. But I'm just saying, if nothing was wrong with you and you didn't go through like a mini camp, you didn't go through preseason, and now you're gonna miss 3 to 4 weeks, and nothing was wrong with you, and now you just jump into the league, how would you even be ready? You still wouldn't even be ready. All these guys is out there running and gunning and doing all this and blah, blah, blah. How would you even be ready? But now they're trying to tell us this guy is going to miss all that time with this injury and then jump back on the court after all that time with an injury and be ready? I don't know, man. I think this guy might retire. I think he might retire. I think this guy might retire due to injury. I'm being serious. He might just retire due to injury. They might say, "Oh, he's not coming back. He's gonna retire due to injury." And like I told you guys before, it's best that he just retire instead of him having this, go around the league show and he's like, it ain't gonna happen like that. Don't nobody like him like that. They can force the teams and announcers to try to get this guy some kind of going away party at every court. But I think he's gonna get booed. I think they're gonna be happy and clapping that the dude is gone. So I don't think that works to his advantage that he has this farewell tour. It's as much as people say, "Oh man, that'll stroke his ego." No, it won't. LeBron James is a puppet for the NBA. He's the sideshow for the NBA. That's it. That's all he is, folks. He's been pretty much a sales guy in a, what do you want to call it? I'm about to say entertainer, but an actor. He's been an actor for the NBA, folks. He's pretty much been an actor for the NBA. Not one, not two, not everything he says is an act. He's an actor for the NBA. That's it. Yeah, YouTube channels won't tell you this stuff because they want you to think it's real. They want you to go along with the script and act like again, LeBron James don't come up with none of this crap. It's the NBA. The NBA is the company. Like I told you before, everything that Fox and ESPN, whatever them retards say on ESPN, like the Nick Wright, Shannon Sharps, the Skip Bayless, all them fools that was on there for that time, they work for the NBA, so they just can't have a show saying whatever the hell they want to say. It has to be approved by the NBA. They bought the rights from the NBA, so well, all that stuff has to be approved. What they're saying and what they're doing. It's not them just saying and doing certain things. It don't work like that, folks. It don't work like that. So that was a big thing I said before. Them dissing the NBA's product since about 2016 with this GOAT debate. That's on the NBA, folks. The NBA approved that. Nick Wright and all these fools didn't just come up with it. This is people sitting down in the boardroom. You gotta remember, ESPN has a boardroom, Fox has a boardroom. These guys are little. The Nick Rice and the Shannon Sharp and all these people who participate in this fake GOAT debate and say these things, dissing past NBA players. These dudes are just puppets in the whole show. These are just front people. These aren't the directors and the owners and the assistant this and assistant that. These guys are just front puppets. They don't come up with none of this stuff. A lot of times they got writers that write all this stuff. You got to remember this, how this stuff works, guys. Sometimes we think TV is more than what it is. The front people just get all the praise or the criticism or whatever you want to give them. Or being brilliant or coming up with this stuff. They don't come up with this trash, man. These people are actors and have jobs and stuff like that. That's why I said when we talk about the Skip and Shannon beef, the YouTubers ain't going to tell you that was fake. It was scripted, it's written out and all this stuff. You guys act like lights, camera, action. These people just start talking. No. All this stuff is premeditated before they even come on air. Skip has a script. Shannon has a script. It is written by other people. Or sometimes they might help write the script, but for the most part, it's written by other people. You heard Shannon Sharp even say that. People help him. This dude was helping him with his debate and his numbers and all this stuff. Shannon Sharp don't know the NBA like that, folks. He didn't know NBA history like that. He was just a good talker that could talk ish. It's like anything. Just like singers, it's written for them. They might get the credit for singing the song, but when you look at all the people that was involved in making the song, writing the song, all this stuff, that ain't how they feel. That's just a song that somebody wrote for them Some people are good at singing but can't write. Some people are good at writing but can't sing. Rappers, for the most part, all the raps are written. There's people who could write rhymes who were good as hell, but they couldn't perform them. They don't have the voice. They don't have the, they just can't flow like that. So for the most part, rappers are just actors. They're just acting out their raps, and that's from the beginning of hip hop. You got a lot of people writing raps for these dudes that couldn't even write a rap if they tried. And a lot of these rappers were not but entertainers that came out of Hollywood, like we did a video in the first place. And I was gonna do a video on that, but I'm gonna do it on my other channel. I ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings on here because people are gonna start getting all emotional about hip hop because they don't know. Remember, a lot of people need to be told stuff by people with suits and ties and the people who trick the world. If not, they don't believe nothing. And that's where we are. People with suits and ties and degrees and using big words. These are people who rule the world, who have tricked the world, have fooled the world, have put the world where it is right now in a bad spot. So yeah, Luka came back yesterday and he did his thing. Luka did his thing. Luka did his thing. And it was a preseason game. To me, whatever. I mean, he did his thing. Y'all gotta remember, this is Luka Doncic, man. This is Luka Doncic. Now, to me, we'll see what happens with this so-called skinny Luka. Like I said, I didn't have a problem with him. The so-called fat Luka went all the way to the NBA Finals with Kyrie Irving beating a Minnesota team that I think was stronger. Because I think they had Karl Anthony Towns on the team still. I think it was a stronger team. They didn't have no problem beating that team. All of a sudden, now the Lakers got to play that team, Minnesota, and they get whooped. And they get whooped because they have LeBron James on that team. They get whooped. So that'll tell you something. But, so-called fat Luka beat them. And Luka was showing out in that series when they beat Minnesota. So, I don't know. Like I said, they put all the blame on Luka to make it look good for LeBron James. Like it was Luka's fault why they lost to Minnesota, when it was LeBron James' fault why they lost to Minnesota. So he had to go out there, take the blame, and go lose weight. I mean, yes, he could lose weight, but you can't blame it on his weight while he lost. It doesn't make any sense. Because Luka is just going to be Luka, guys. And another reason why I think LeBron James is going to retire or is not going to come back is because they can't have him come back and Luka be Luka. Luka, put up 32, 8 and 8. He can't grab those kind of stats with LeBron James in the lineup. It ain't gonna work like that. So, you got to kind of like, weigh your options. Do you want him to put up his 32, 8 and 8, or he's got to have those superstar numbers. You got to have them superstar numbers to be able to promote this guy and, him get his numbers, moving forward and stuff like that. You can't have him getting, 25, 6 and 5 and stuff like that. And, because LeBron James is trying to get his numbers, it don't work like that. So you just got to figure out what you really want. And I don't think that, him coming back is going to do anything but, reduce Luka's numbers. That's all you're going to have. And both of when you're sitting there trying to reduce their numbers like that, you're not going to have a winning environment for the Lakers, period. They're going to go down the drain. Especially, for a guy playing on one side of the ball. You're playing on one side of the damn ball. You can't you can't have Luka going skinny and trying to play defense. And then you got LeBron James, he can't even play no defense at all. And he's just out there getting numbers. So, to me, I don't think he's coming back. I'll be surprised if he come back. If he comes back, we already know he ain't got no injury. The injury is fake. I just don't think he wants to play anymore. You know what I'm saying? He's got to get in basketball shape. He's got to go through, the rigors. And these guys are running faster than ever. And he's slowing down every damn season. He's slowing down. You can't have a high fast-paced game like that, running and gunning, and he's going to be able to catch up. They got what they wanted. They got Luka Doncic. They got what they wanted. You can't, well, I'm about to say you can't be greedy. They already got greedy. But, they got what they wanted. They got Luka Doncic. I don't know what else they really want. You got Bronny in the league. And, whether LeBron James retires or not this year, Bronny ain't going nowhere. He's a project for the NBA. This is what these young people know. They know Bronny. They like Bronny. They don't care that he sucks. They see that as a success story in the future. Yeah, Bronny made it. This ain't the old NBA, folks. This NBA ain't built on greatness. That's why I made a post. And it said, what was her name? Dawn Staley? She was getting interviewed by ESPN. And it was saying something like, her coming to coach in the NBA, would she be with it and all that stuff? And she was acting like kind of like, standoffish, like she wasn't interested, but if they want to interview her, they wanted her to, maybe she might think about it, and it's whatever. To me, it's just a whole, scripted, whatever. And look, like, it ain't gonna fly in the 90s, the 2000s, the 80s, the 70s, because the fans wouldn't approve of it. And not only that, it wouldn't be needed that she come coach in the NBA. Because you had great coaches. You had the league, doing great. For this era right here, I don't disapprove of it. Just because it's so soft and weak, and a lot of these dudes is females anyways. So, I mean, like, what's the difference? What would it matter if she coaches? Look at the coaches in this league. These ain't even real coaches, guys. These guys are just sit on the bench, stand around coaches. These ain't real coaches. Ain't no players about to tell no coach what to do back in the day. Ain't no coach gonna ain't no coach gonna be told by the NBA, oh, y'all gotta run the same play, everybody got the same playbook in the NBA now. Ain't no coach gonna be with that back in the day. That ain't coaching, folks. That ain't coaching. Like I tell you guys, never buy a brand new house. Never. I don't build houses, but I kind of like, work in that kind of field. So I see stuff like that. And, you got women and children building your new house. I don't care if it's 400,000, 300,000, 800,000. You got women and children from Central America building your house. Building commercial buildings is crazy. You think you're going to get any craftsmanship out of that? No. No. You ain't going to get no craftsmanship out of that. Buy an old house. The old houses will stand up. They're more sturdy. They're strong. Women and children from Central America wasn't building houses back then. First of all, American people were. American people was. And they were men. I mean, they were men. Now you literally, if you're paying these people no money to build your houses, what kind of craftsmanship do you think is going to come out of it, folks? Zero. I would never, if you saw the craftsmanship going into your house, you'll be shocked. Literally, women and children building your houses from Central America. This is the stuff you guys vote for, man. This is why you have these same people, I wouldn't say children, but you got these same people from Central America running your factories and your industries. I'm talking about making food in these factories. Because they don't want Americans to see what's going into the food. And what's going into the food is straight chemical-based stuff that's in these supermarkets, that's in these boxes and bags, and stuff that's in these foods at these stores, at these grocery stores. Yeah. They don't want Americans working in them factories where they're making food. They want these people who don't even know what's going on, who can't even speak English, working in these factories. Because they're straight poisoning you. But yeah, this is what you vote for. You think you voting for jobs. You vote for other stuff that, that ain't good. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I seen this idiot. He was on he was on his wife's podcast. Really, these people have podcasts. Why though? I mean, you have billions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions, and your wife has to have a podcast. This is your life, a podcast. Wow, this is. I tell you what, man. LeBron James' wife. These are puppets, guys. These aren't these. You know what this is? These guys are puppets. They just stir up stuff for the NBA. These guys are puppets. These ain't business people. These aren't people who are intelligent and go about life. And a podcast. His wife has a podcast, folks. Really? For what? What does that prove? See, they supposed to have all this. Why do you have a podcast? I don't care what reason you come up with. And he's on there talking. LeBron James is on there talking about, oh, everybody take everything serious when you say something. And what do he say? He says something about, everything is fake now. And yes, that's what I've been saying for a long time. Everything is fake. He's nothing but an actor for the NBA. Literally, he's telling you what I've been saying for a long time, folks. And nobody wants to come forward and say this. The NBA, since he went to the Miami Heat, was nothing but a script. Was nothing but a script. That's it. That's it to sell the NBA. Not one, not two. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. That's a script, folks. All this is a script. Scripted. Him going back to Cleveland, script. Him going to LA, and everybody's got to follow the script. Remember, he came over to LA just to piss in the eyes of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Legacy. He could have went back to Cleveland and broke that record. And it would have been more appreciated in Cleveland than LA. Everything Kareem did in LA and for LA and brought to LA, he gonna piss in the eyes of Kareem? That's crazy. And Kareem has to be there to hand him the ball. Hand him what ball? What ball is he handing him? So he pissed in the eyes of Kareem, and Kareem has to come in there with piss all in his eyes and suck it up and bow down to LeBron James. That's a script, folks. I would be nowhere in sight, but just for Kareem, because he probably broke. And for him to keep getting this, NBA, I don't know what kind of checks they get, retirement checks. He's got to do that. He's got to be a puppet for the NBA, just like the rest of these guys. Like I told you, they can't clap back. They can't say nothing about their eyes being pissed on since 2016, calling them plumbers, taxi cab drivers. Their air was weak. They couldn't dribble. 99% of them don't say nothing. They can't. If they do come out, they come out just a little bit and say just enough to make it look like, they're not allowed to say nothing. If they really could unload on LeBron James, the NBA, it would be awful for the league, folks. But that's the only way the NBA can even, keep their head above water, is these guys not saying nothing. And, the NBA keeps dissing their past products to have you believe that these guys are better or on the same accord as these guys in the past. But the ratings don't show that. It don't show that. It shows cap. And they keep getting rid of ESPN and Fox keep getting rid of more and more good analysts because they can't pay them. It's going down the drain. They say stupid stuff. Kendrick Perkins said, who's this guy? I can forget this guy's name now. The white boy at number one, or Cooper Flag. He said he got the same IQ as LeBron James. That's what Kendrick. These are the dumb people that ESPN now has on the payroll. Welfare workers, guys who have no talent at all. Kendrick Perkins. Picture that, guys. Kendrick, at least as dumb as Charles Barkley is one of the dumbest guys you ever listened to. At least he was funny. At least he is funny. He's dumb funny. Can't finish the damn sentence, but at least he's dumb funny. Kendrick Perkins ain't dumb funny. He's just dumb. He's just dumb as a doorknob. I'm trying to tell you. He ain't. A lot of times he tries to be like dumb funny, but he's not funny. He tries to be like this, maybe like this bully and stuff. He's just dumb. This is what they got. You can't even believe it. It's like head scratching. What? All the good analysts they had back in the day. This is what they have. This is what they're left with. Wow. So yeah, I'm back, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. Ain't nobody. I listen to some videos for a day, and ain't nobody really talking. Ain't nobody really saying nothing. They just wait for the season to start, circling the wagon. It ain't really saying nothing. It's the same thing. Give this guy the blame. Give this guy the blame. But they don't want to give the NBA, who runs the league, the blame, because all these guys are just employees of the NBA, and the Players Association, the owners, are to blame for it. And you're never gonna get back to, what it used to be until people, start blaming the owners and the Players Association. But these guys on YouTube, they don't want to do that because they want to get patted on the back. They care more about money than they care about reality.